Jim Rohn said, success is what you attract by the person you become. How do you become? You become by designing the exact person you want to be and becoming that person right now. You see, I find that most people believe that success is by accident or by luck. I believe that success is by design. Hi, I'm Alfonso Cuadra, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and creator and host of this program. You see, I went from being a 15-year-old, war-torn, homeless high school dropout to running a successful corporation before the age of 20. But what happened? Did the world change? Did people change? No. I discovered that for things to change, I had to change. And I did. I sat down at 17 years old and I made a list of goals and designed the exact life I wanted to live. I achieved everything on that list before 20 years old. Success is not by accident. It is by design. And welcome to the Success by Design show, where we bring you the stories and formulas of successful people that have designed their own success. Today is a very special program because we're talking to young entrepreneurs that have designed their success. And I met a few young people here. We have Luke and Natalia, and thank you for coming on the show. And I told you before we started the show, I was not going to say your last name, so you guys can say your last name?
Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski.
Now you know why I wouldn't say that. So, thank you for coming on the show. Great to have you guys here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we're talking about young people and being entrepreneurs. So what made you want to be an entrepreneur at such a young age? Number one, first of all, the ages.
I'm 16.
16?
I'm 20.
20. So you're around there, but I mean that's awfully young. I mean you could have easily been get a job at McDonald's. So what really, what was the momentum behind you guys becoming entrepreneurs? And just by you guys are in the same family, right?
Yeah.
So a family of entrepreneurs. This is incredible. Let's hear it.
When I was growing up, my family took swimming lessons in the Ottawa River at Constance Bay. It was just really amazing to be taught in such a nice environment. And so I continued and I took all my swimming courses. I got my NLS, my lifeguard, and my swim instructor. And I decided that there was nothing in Ottawa that actually offered the same environment for learning swimming. Nobody went to people's backyard pools and taught. No one really taught in the river that much anymore. And so I figured I really want to give other children the same kind of experience that I had growing up, because swimming is such an important skill to have. And I really love working with kids. So that's why I mixed my two, and I decided I'll address this issue, this market gap, and decided that I'd start my business back when I was 17, 3 years ago, to teach swimming lessons in people's pools.
Wow. And Luke?
The main reason I started my company is because of Natalia.
You saw her doing it. I want to do that too.
I saw her start run a successful company. So the next year, I wrote my business plan. I got accepted to summer company. And after that, I didn't look back. And it's been lots of fun.
Now, you could have had a job, right? You could have got jobs and saved and, did the real traditional way. Do you find that a lot of younger people are starting to look, at starting businesses as an other option from starting a job, getting a job?
I would say absolutely yes.
Yeah.
After going through all the entrepreneurial steps, I have tons of friends that are entrepreneurs, and it seems like everywhere I go, I meet another one every single day, that's somebody my age, so I'd say it's definitely another option.
What about, was it the same for you?
Yeah, pretty much the same, because just everybody has something special that they can offer. And so everyone that I talk to, they can give a little twist to something to make it their own. And so I think it is good also with the shortage of jobs. Some of my friends can't do it, so they're forced to create a job of their own. And it's awesome running a business, so you never look back to go get a job at a company.
Now I'm going to ask both of you, because it wasn't like you started a business, started making money right away, right? Like, what are some of the obstacles and some of the challenges that some of the young people would face today if someone wanted to, start a business tomorrow?
I think it was the startup costs are that's the largest thing, because normally when you started looking for a job, you don't have money. So for me, it was a lot to get insurance, to get all the certification, everything. There's a lot of money put up front. So that's the hardest part. I was lucky with Summer Company that they gave you a grant to help with that, ease that stress. But I would say that's the number one. Also finding work. I know Lucas, he does a good job at doing that.
Yeah.
Salesman.
Yeah. The hardest thing for me is competition, right? I'm a landscaper, and everywhere you go, you see another landscaping company. There's 10 on my street, and you're always lowballing the other guy, and that's the hardest part. It's competition.
So how do you deal with that? Like, what makes you different than somebody? Let's say someone has been doing it for 20 years, right? You just started in the game. So what kind of makes you different?
Well, first of all, I do most of my work in the same neighborhood I grew up in, so most of the neighbors already know me. I will beat any price because I do have overhead, but not as much as some of the bigger, more expensive companies. So I can do it for almost any price.
Well, the older guy's got a mortgage and kids to feed and all
Yes,
kinds of stuff.
and I do 101% jobs. That's the main reason.
Wow. Now, you guys you talked about summer company. What are some resources that, if someone out there, 17 is kind of it's kind of the age, right? 16, 15,
Yeah.
some people get into businesses.
Yeah.
What are some of the resources that, some of these young people could take advantage of? Not only if young people are watching this program right now, but even their parents, that they could say, you know what, son, you should go check out Summer Company, and how do people get in contact with some of these resources?
Go onto the brain, go onto Google, type in Invest Ottawa. They're the number one company in Ottawa for entrepreneurs. No matter if you're 15-year-olds or if you're 40, they have everything there for you. And the program that we went to, Summer Company, you write your business plan and they'll give you a grant that's funded by the government. And if you already started your business and you need help, or if you need some guidance, then go to Invest Ottawa, and they are more than pleased to help you.
And that's about to give you this grant, and you have to, do they monitor how you spend this money?
Yes, you have to have a whole log of exactly how you spent the money. Keep all the receipts to prove it. Keep your Excel file up to date so you can prove, and anything that you don't spend they ask back, but normally that's not an issue. But that was, with that they made sure that you kept your money on track, and they also gave you mentors.
Wow.
So you would go to a meeting, bi-weekly meeting, and there would be almost 15 mentors there from all over the place, from all different areas of business that could help you. So if you had a question, I could go to the lawyer and say, I need a waiver, I have this little legal issue, what do I do? Yeah. So it was nice because it was free, and they were there to help you, and they wanted you to succeed.
So now you're on your third year. Now your business is self-sustained, because you don't show up there every summer and say, where's my grant, right?
Yes.
No. They give you a
Yes.
little push, a little nudge.
Yeah.
And then you're on your own, right?
That's right.
Yes.
So now what was the moment where you said, you know what, now I have a business, it's self-sustained, it's great that I had that funding at first, but now, it's like your aha moment, the moment that you knew that you're in business and you're doing it and you're making a profit.
It was probably halfway through my first summer. The main reason that made me want to keep going with my business after the first month that was really hard, getting new clients, was just the children. I love my students because you're teaching them swimming, and they learn to trust you, and you just kind of bond with them, and they really enjoy you coming, and so you love your job. I love my job, and I'd be like, it's a bonus that I'm making money and that it's progressing, but I couldn't just go away and say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to teach you swimming anymore. So that was just the aha moment. I was just like,
You connected with the children. Yeah.
And it was awesome.
When was your moment? When was the moment that you said, you know what? This is good for me. This is better than Tim Hortons, or this is better than working at McDonald's.
Same again last summer. Nearing the end of about in the fall time, I got a very big contract to build a 50-foot garden with an irrigation system built into it. And 2 weeks later, when I had it all finished, it looked amazing. I felt amazing, and the customer was very satisfied. And I saw that I can make something that's going to be there. It has my name on it, and it looks amazing, and it's profitable, and it's way better than being inside a building. You're outside and getting fit, and
And the tan?
Yes, and the tan, yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's really excellent. So for maybe parents, either could be parents or young people watching this right now, I usually ask people about 3 tips, but we're going to split it up 2 tips each. Is that okay?
Okay.
I don't want to cause any rivalry or any fighting. Okay, so 2 tips each that someone out there could take and run with.
Okay.
My first tip would be research. You really need to research what your business is, where your niche is going to be, what your clients are looking for, what other people are doing. I would look at people in California where this business is really big, backyard swimming lessons, and see what they're doing and put it back towards mine. That's what I spend most of my time doing, is the research part of it. And my other one would be to always adapt with change. Things change over the 3 years. My business has changed quite a bit because people's needs, other companies coming in, you always have to have that edge to your business. So you always have to be aware of what's changing and to be willing to adapt.
Research and adapt.
Yes.
Okay.
2 tips.
Mine would be never cut corners. Being a startup business, you're undoubtedly going to give a lower and better price than some of your competitors, and you will think, okay, well, I can do the job this way and get it done faster and still make good money, but you can't cut corners. You have to do it exactly the way that people expect you to do it, and therefore make it very professional. The other one would be to make sure your customer is 100% satisfied, because we all know that a satisfied customer is the best advertising out there.
And a return customer too.
That's
Yes.
right. So make sure your customer is completely happy, and you'll get more business from him or her.
Now, tell me the environment at home. Like, are you guys competing? Like, I made this much or this much. You know, like
Yes.
it's like, is there any other entrepreneurs in the family, or you guys have how many brothers and sisters here?
There's 7 of us in total.
7.
Yes.
4 boys,
So
3 girls.
what does that look like? You know, do they want to start businesses? Like, what's going on in your household?
It comes like that. Actually, my brother in between us, he's 18. He actually works for my business now because we need to expand. So
Employed your brother.
yes,
Okay, that's good.
because he jumped in. He's like, "Hey, you're making money. This looks good. You're getting a tan,
Yeah.
and it just sounds fun." And so he joined, and I think it all works out. Everyone's always happy. There is competition between us too, to always see at the end of each summer how much we've made and how many clients.
And that keeps the business.
But-
That's part of the business. Like, it
Yeah.
helps you do better, right? Wow, that's just, I'm just blown away. Young people doing, entrepreneurs. I was a young entrepreneur myself, so I can really resonate with what you guys are saying, and I can see kind of this as being a trend where we used to get the paper out, and now it's like a business.
Yeah.
But really quickly, because we're about to end the show, can you give us one quote that you live by?
My quote would be, "Winning isn't everything, but wanting to is."
I love it. I love it. Listen to the young entrepreneurs, and stick around for more Success by Design show. Welcome back, and we are talking to young entrepreneurs that have designed their success. And in the studios, we have Kevin. Kevin, thank you for being on the program.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
You kind of dived into this. What's the name of the business?
Jocks with Mops.
Jocks with Mops. Can you kind of give us what is it that you do?
Sure. So I try to put a bit of a masculine spin on cleaning. So Jocks with Mops, and we started out doing the exterior cleaning, so windows, lawn packages, stuff like that. And we've really adapted it more so, and now I have Jocks with Tools and Jocks with Turf.
So you've expanded the business.
Yeah, you always have to expand as an entrepreneur, or adapt as an entrepreneur. You always have to be able to adapt to certain situations, because nothing goes exactly as planned. And as long as you can adapt and get back up and go with it, it's fantastic.
So the business is Jocks with Mops, and you've got this kind of branding. It's kind of cool.
I try to make them funny, more personable, just because a lot of in the landscaping industry, some of my family members and some people I know as well, they're kind of a little scary and intimidating to come to. So I wanted to be happy. As you can tell, I'm loud and I move a lot.
Are you a jock?
I'm a jock. I hold 3 Canadian weightlifting records.
All right, that's good. That's good. So you're a jock with a mop.
Trying.
So for young people trying to get into business, is it hard to like kind of be like do marketing or trying to have this creative kind of spin, because you have this like your demographic is kind of older than you?
That's right.
Is there like a kind of like a disconnect between you, the way you're marketing, and the way your audience would kind of accept it?
You know, I really don't know too much about marketing, but what I found is you just have to go into certain situations, and you know, if it doesn't work, then you suck it up and do it again. Do something different, change what didn't work for you, and always try to adapt. And the marketing is just try to be as creative as possible. I'm really trying to look at ways for guerrilla marketing, which is, you know, something that's really outside of the box and really grabs people's attention, and then they'll come to me, because there's a ton of landscapers, there's a ton of contractors out there, and I really have to distinguish myself from the competition. And I think guerrilla marketing will be fantastic for me. I got a couple ideas that I'm trying to float around. Nothing solid yet, but I think it'll be fun. You know, they're kind of scary doing guerrilla marketing.
So, I mean, you're doing the guerrilla marketing, and you're doing this. How long has this business been, the business?
Well, I started this in April. But I've always done landscaping, fences, decks, anything outdoors. Like, I've had to work outside since I was knee-high. Grew up out in the country, always having to work for my dad type of deal.
So that's what I want to ask you. Like, what's your story? You look like somebody, you might have gone the educational route, or
Yeah.
because you obviously if you're in sports. Usually, people in sports are they tie the sports to the academics.
Yeah.
And maybe get a job or something. So what's the story here?
For
like
sure.
what got you from going down this route to
Well, I just finished at Carleton for physical geography, and when I came out, I ended up having a job, and it was a fantastic job. The people that were there were amazing. It's just, I guess it didn't work out very well, and I ended up having to clean a washroom, and I was told to clean a washroom, and that wasn't where I saw myself at my particular age, and just finished school, and that wasn't where I wanted to be. So that was kind of my push over the edge, and that company has been fantastic for me. I have tons of friends there that I still keep in contact with, and it just made me expand my horizons and really dive into something that I truly wanted to do. Just didn't know that is what I wanted to do.
Is it scary? Is it
It's really scary, but at the same time, it's not. Like, you just have to do it, and it's a lot easier than it is. And like, I remember hearing this quote from this presenter, and she said, "analysis paralysis," and she was referring to the fact that people overanalyze certain situations, and they become paralyzed to it because they don't think they can do it. They don't think they're capable of doing this or that, and it's too much. But if you go in, you learn as you're going along, you adapt, and you'd be amazed at what you're able to accomplish with persistence and determination.
So for the people out there watching, they maybe want to start their own thing, maybe
Yeah,
jocks
do
with
it.
mops or jocks with brooms, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Bring it on.
But
Anything.
is there like a lot of resources for young people right now to get involved in business?
It is amazing how many resources are out there. The summer company through Invest Ottawa I'm a part of, and it's been fantastic, where they give you a grant for starting your own company. They're always there to lean on. I can call up the coordinator and ask them for advice. Always outside the box. You meet fun and interesting people all the time. You meet new young entrepreneurs whose ideas are so fantastic. There's this one guy that I know who's mowing lawns with solar energy.
Wow.
And to me, that's a great idea. I would have never thought of it. And there's so many smart people out there that really want to help out. And one thing that I've found is that other successful entrepreneurs and businessmen, they will help you out, or businesswomen, they'll help you out if you ask them for it. And you be respectful and know that no one's going to give you time for free. There's going to be something in exchange. But people love helping other people. That's what I find, and I've been extremely fortunate with the people that I've met, and it's just working out great. The resources are there. Go online, type in, entrepreneur, go to meetings, anything that can help out with business, and just tell them your story. Like, oh, I'm a young entrepreneur, I'm thinking about starting this, and people really want to help you out. It's limitless, it really is.
So at what point did you realize, we're getting to the point where you're sitting there and you're like, wow, this is a business. This is better than a job. At what point did you realize that, wow,
yeah, this
is actually working out for me? What was that moment for you? Like your aha moment, the moment that you said, I'm on the right track here.
Through university, I worked for a company doing some direct sales for lawn aerations, and I've owned my own machine for a couple years now. So I knew that no matter what, I could fall back on that in the spring and do the direct sales for the lawn aeration. But I didn't know how successful it would be, in the sense that if a customer, after I did the lawn aeration, wanted something else done, I said, yeah, you know what, I can do that. Absolutely. Here's a quote. And then it builds from there with one satisfied customer. You know, they tell their neighbors, or they saw that I was working there a couple days, and they said, hey, do you also do this? And heck, yeah, absolutely I do that. And it just builds from there. It's fantastic. So that was really the aha moment. It was so scary. I was waiting for all the snow to melt and get it out there. And the snow finally melted, get out there. I'm like, oh my goodness, like what am I doing? Like I don't know, like I didn't go to school for business. And then stuff just keeps happening and happening and happening. You always keep a positive outlook. That's a big thing. Always try to look on the bright side, because you know, happiness attracts happiness. I firmly believe that. And you know, you keep striving for the positive, and positive things will come out.
That's excellent. And do you have, I mean, you've been doing this for how long?
My company started in April,
Okay.
but I've been doing landscaping and what have you for years.
And you've been on your own, like you work for others, or?
Oh yeah, I've worked
both, bit of both, right? You've done your own
absolutely.
thing and you work for others.
I worked for a fence and deck company for 3 years in university. I did landscaping. Growing up, I always had to work outside, growing up in the country, so it's just...
So you've developed this kind of like a little, you know, some knowledge here, and you know, being an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it, you're making things happen. What are 3 tips that you could offer somebody out there that is just maybe stuck or wants to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Or just, you know what, they want the jocks with brooms, or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, whatever.
Okay.
What are 3 tips that you can offer them?
I've got 3.5. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
3.5.
We do 3.5.
Okay. Number 1 is don't underestimate yourself and don't overestimate the competition. I find that that's a big thing. And there's a book that I was reading, The 4-Hour Work Week, which is a fantastic read.
Oh,
and in
yeah,
it,
great, yeah.
he's talking to a business class at Harvard, and he proposed this challenge to them, and it was a really hard challenge where they had to contact like 2 or 3 celebrities and just get an email back. And in return, he was going to give them a trip around the world, paid for. But
Wow.
the class of like 20 people, or however many it is, I forget the exact number, none of them completed the task. And it's because everyone was afraid that, you know, everyone else was going to do it before them, so they wouldn't have a chance. It's a waste of their time. But then no one ended up getting the trip around the world. So that really struck home with me. You know, don't undersell yourself, and don't overestimate the competition. Number 2 would be, like I already talked about, the analysis paralysis. I think that's a huge one. I've caught myself in it many times, where I'm looking too far into something.
You're thinking too much.
You're thinking too much. Just do it. Just do it. And number 3.5, I'll give you first. Okay, 3.5 is just do it, like I just said. Like, just do it. You got to go out and do it. And number 3, going back there, is the best learning is doing. For me, I built fences and decks for years under foremans, and I thought I knew everything, how to build them. And then you get your project, and you go, oh shoot, what about this? And then you do it that one time, you're like, yes, that's exactly how you do it, but now it is stuck in your head like you wouldn't believe. So I really think that the best learning is doing. And by doing it, you just got to go out and do it.
And what are some obstacles? Like, I mean, it wasn't just you started your business and yay, we're rolling in the cash. What are the obstacles that, you know, if someone's out there wanting to start their own business, their own thing, they've gone to the summer company, now they're, you know, they got the grant, now they're just sitting there. Now, what are the obstacles they're going to be facing?
Obstacles are a big thing, would be discipline. You have to be disciplined to go out there every day. That's a hard thing, you know, being a fresh entrepreneur. You have to, when you had a job, okay, I got to wake up at 8 o'clock. I got to be there for 9. I got to do this. I have to do this. Entrepreneur, like, you can just sleep and I'll hit snooze again, or I'll hit snooze again, or, you know.
Well, you're your own boss.
You're your own boss, right? So if the more you sleep in, the less you're making. So the biggest thing for me was discipline, and to keep going out every single day, and building value in yourself, and why the customer should go with you instead of the competition. I think that's another big thing, is just build up value and really believe in what you're doing. If you're not doing something that you're passionate about, then maybe you should find something else. Because if you're passionate, like, I love being outside, I love building things, like, you take a step back, you go, wow, like, I just built that, like, that's awesome. And you just feel so good about it. And to me, building is very rewarding, and I love it. Where if I, you know, stuck with the educational route after I graduated there, you know, I'm not very rewarded after a day of sitting at the office. Maybe I am doing something productive, but I don't feel satisfaction from it. Where when I build a deck, I just think, wow, that looks great.
That was a part of your passion, right?
That's right, yeah. Follow your passion.
And when someone's trying to get in business, because it's like, you know, if I have a business, if I want to be following my passion, but there might not be many businesses out there that might, you know, at 17, 18, 19, 20 years old that are kind of fitting to what I want to do. So is there, and you know, because you chose landscaping, but did you know that landscaping was your passion, or, you know?
I think you just have to sit down and think about things that you do like and find a way that someone will pay you for it. So I know that I like to be outside. So what are my options? You know, stuff outside. You know, I know I like building things. Like, what can I build for people that people will end up paying me for? And you just kind of build off there. You find things that you do like, and then you find out what people will pay you for.
Perfect.
And you go from there.
Perfect. Quote. What's the quote that you live by?
The quote I live by is, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And I live by it so much that I actually have it tattooed on me because it's one of the hardest things for me is, you know, to be as disciplined as you possibly can, because you always really expect more from yourself, and to be able to provide the self-discipline to always expect more and to keep striving for better and better. I think that's something that can never go wrong with.
Kevin, young entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
Young entrepreneurs making it happen here on the Success by Design show. And I just want to thank you for coming, and join us next time for more of Success by Design show.